Well, let's continue where we have left. Basically, I have talked on the diminishing marginal productivity of the workers, which means actually, which is something we accept in this course, the model of this course, which is taken from the book, from your book. And that basically means that if one worker is producing 16 shoes, second worker should add less than 16 shoes to the production level, which might be, for example, 15. In that case, the total production level when you have two workers will be 31, and third worker will increase the production level less than 15. Of course, it can be less than 15, it can be 14, 13, 1, 5. So it should not necessarily be 15, but the maximum number it can take is 15. Okay. So marginal product of labor looks like this, ever decreasing number. So how do we compare then the, let's say, value, in this case the revenue each worker brings to the cost of worker? First we have wage, which is constant, and then we have marginal product of labor per worker, number of workers, and let's say this is increasing by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and marginal product of labor is, let's say, 16, 15, 14, or let's do it 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4. Well, just to show you the total product of labor in this case is for 1, 16. For the 2, it is 15 plus 14. And you do this. So it is an increasing number. Average product of labor is also an increase. It's not an increasing number. You should decrease. You should write this to number of workers. It's a decreasing number. This is average product. I mean, if you have 2 workers, per worker production level is 15, basically. Now, value of marginal product of labor. This will be determined by the price of what you produce. Let's say price is $2 and basically wage is $10. In that case, you need to multiply this quantity with price, and you should make sure that this is always the same. Let me give. Okay, I got the $. And cost of labor is in this case equal to always 10, which is a wage. Let's get this down. In this case, if our employer hires 6 workers, the amount of the value of extra revenue this worker brings is $12, but this worker costs to our employer $10. which basically means that this worker is able to bring our employer $2 extra revenue. So our employer will hire this sixth worker, but seventh worker will only bring the revenue which is equal to $8, but the wage is $10, which means actually our employer will lose $2 if he or she employs this sixth labor. Can we see it? We can see it actually if we just calculate value of marginal product of total product of labor, total amount of revenue are basically company will get. This is total product of labor times again the price. So this is the revenue our companies get when it hires more workers, and we assume the capital costs are constant or zero. So it might be $10. So in that case, in order to calculate the total profit, you should also subtract that $10. So wage, the total cost is, let's say, cost of labor times number of labor plus the capital cost is, let's say, $10. So profit is total revenue minus total cost. So as you see, up to the point when our employer hires 6 workers, the profit increases. But when our employer hires 7th worker, the profit level decreases. Well, if the wage increases to, for example, $15, now the revenue increase up to the point when our employer is employing 5th worker, and that's the point when the value of marginal product of labor 16 is still above the wage level, which is 15, and for the 6th worker the value of marginal product is 12, but wage is 15. So this is the basic logic. The company makes decision in hiring workers, and as you see, as long as the marginal product is higher than wage, of course here we are talking value of marginal product, our company will continue to hire worker, and as long as wage is larger than value of marginal product, the company will fire worker. So the company will hire exact amount of labor at which marginal product and wage is equal if possible. If not possible, it will stop before it passes this point. If you can hire infinitely small amount of labor power by, for example, hiring someone for exact amount of duration you want, for example, 2 hours, 30 minutes, and 15 seconds, then it's possible to get very close to this point. But in real world, of course, you cannot get to this point that close, but you can be around this point when you make decision. So now I will introduce you to a concept which is exploitation. But I'm not talking on the most famous version of exploitation, which is Marxist exploitation, but I will talk on the mainstream exploitation, which is neoclassically defined. Actually, it was defined by Pigou. You can call him Keynesian, but this mainstream way exploitation is understood. It's not that used in the core economic studies, but mainstream economics, neoclassical economics, also has its own definition of exploitation. This is what I will introduce you. Well, Marxian definition is basically it looks to the average product of labor, and whenever average product of labor is, for example, keep this 10, whenever average product of labor is above the wage level or equal to the wage level, well, our company is exploiting workers. So Marxian exploitation rate, exploitation amount, is the difference between the value of average product of labor, value of average product of labor. Moment, let me just calculate also that just to be exact. This times this. And Marxian exploitation is value of marginal product of labor. So all values created by the labor. So on average, when you divide the total value created to the number of workers, you got a value an average worker creates. So the workers in this case, when you have only one worker, creates 160 units of value, but only gets 10 units of wage. So basically, exploitation is 150 in this case per worker. Employer gets 150 units out of the worker. Okay, what is this? Oh, sorry. Oh, of course, I need to fix this. As you see, on average, exploitation is decreasing, but of course, the total amount of exploitation is increasing because now you are exploiting two workers. So average exploitation is 150, 40 units in this case. And if you have any case without exploitation, for example, let's increase the wage to 120. That's the case when profit is actually decreases below zero because the company can only get profits if it exploits workers, according to Marx. That's the only way a company can have positive amount of profits. What is in the mainstream exploitation? Well, here we subtract wage from the actually marginal value of marginal product of labor from the wage. Of course, I have made a mistake here. I should multiply this with not wage, but the price. I'm sorry for that. So the exploitations will fall 12, 22, 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10. Basically. So when you have, for example, wage as 24 now, you will have a case where you have no exploitation, and of course the profit has decreased. Here we have even negative profits without basically wage decreasing below the value of average product, because we have also capital costs, and actually those capital costs are analyzed differently in Marxian economics. Here we are taking them as separate. That's why I mean the profits might even get below zero when actually workers are exploited in this case. This is not the case in full Marxian analysis. Mainstream exploitation is basically you subtract from value of marginal product the wage level. So, and again, we should fix this. Here it is. And it can get negative. Negative basically means that the workers are exploiting the capitalists, and positive means the capitalists are exploiting the workers. And in case of 0, when wage is 24 and 3 workers are hired, no one exploits no one basically.